What's going on, guys? It's Kelly Betz, treating my body like a temple. Here to do the album audio commentary for Trauma Journals, my album that came out 6 months ago this week. I'm a little late to the party, but let's fucking talk about it. It has begun. The song Bones, a fucking classic in my opinion. This album's easier for me to like because it happened so quick that I can't remember making it as much as my other projects. Essentially, the long and short of it is that I made Imaginary Friends, my album, and that took 5 months after a 6-month sabbatical. So for 6 months, I was abstinent of music to try to start doing yoga and working out and going to therapy. And I did half of those things. And I just, man, I have a great relationship with music, but at times it becomes obsessive and I'm aware of that. So I tried to step back, yada, yada, yada. I made this album that I was meticulous about and very careful with, but I was very pent up. And so after Imaginary Friends came out, that week, as soon as I put that online, so one album in 1 year, very unusual for me, I just exploded with energy. And I had this manic phase where in 2 weeks I made this album, from inception to it being out there, it was done. It was recorded here at PDM as well as at my house, which Libby and I lovingly call the Cricket Sanctuary. And I took a train to Chicago to record the vocals and wrote most of the lyrics on that 6-hour train ride up to Ray Meyer's studio, up to Pompey's studio to record in his basement studio. And even wrote some of this kind of as I was recording. One of the song's lyrics, the song 1994, I wrote and recorded in 30 minutes entirely. Ooh, this first song is a banger. I should have talked about it more. I had it written, and then as I was recording the drum part, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if this was a 1950s doo-wop? Because I just rewatched the documentary on Amy Winehouse, I think called Amy, and how it was the producer's idea to take this really sad blues song, which was Rehab, but make it a 1960s girl group pop song. So I was like, I'm gonna steal that trick. And that's what I did with this punk song, was made it a doo-wop, or whatever that genre is, Beehive 60s girl band style. Yeah, this album was supposed to be more cohesive, but I think what ends up happening is you can hear my different influences of styles. I think song to song, you can kind of get the different eras of punk I went through in my career, and a bunch of Nirvana and grunge bleeds through as well, which it wasn't intentional, but you can never hide who you're, you can never really hide your musical identity. It's going to come through even if you're full-blown shtick, you're trying this left field thing. It's going to shine through, so why fight it? Will Tuckley did the art. He's an amazing artist. He's in Rifle Cult, and he was in Slusk, and shit Octogenarians, and just a whole bunch of bands here at PDM. They practice and usually in normal times play shows. And great guy, young friend of mine, and his art I really think is what made this album, because it is so drastic and intense, and it's this guy killing himself, which was my idea, but seeing the way he did it, he made it very cold, and I love it. I think the cover kind of dictates and puts a framework into how the whole album sounds and what it really feels like in the end. This song is called The Permanent Solution, but in the chorus, I'm yelling temporary problems, which I don't know if anybody caught the sick joke, but a permanent solution to a temporary problem is a quote about suicide, and it's a reason to not quit suicide. I thought it'd be really funny and weird to have a dub reggae song about killing yourself because of a psychotic break. So that's what this is. If somebody's understood it until now, nobody ever came back to me and told me that they got it. But that's what this is. I love dub. Mad Lib's Blunted in the Bomb Shelter is like one of my favorite pieces of music. I grew up listening to dub. My dad would play it. So, like Pompey in his studio, he was really surprised that I could actually do like the shuffle. He was like, yeah, that's a good drum shuffle. And I was like, yeah, man, I fucking used to play dub all the time as a teenager. You just zone out, man. White boy style. I can do the shut. A lot of that got cut out. There was a lot more of that got cut out in the original take. Oh, so the other interesting thing about this album is that it was one of my secret albums. I kind of used it as a tie-in to promote Imaginary Friends because, again, I'd worked on that album for so long, and I wanted the impact of it to have as much oomph as possible. And I don't know if it really worked, but basically I was like, hey, I have a secret album, and if you share Imaginary Friends, my real album, then I will send you the secret album, and that's the only way you can hear it. And then I did one show here at PDM, and I made tapes of it, and I did name your price for the tape. So kids were coming up to me, a bunch of teenagers gave me like a quarter or like 95 cents for this cassette tape. So I hope they liked it. This sounds good on cassette. It has a cassette emulator on it, or simulator. It's run through a analog tape program that I got that compressed it, because the drums are recorded. Oh, it's somewhere around here. The drums are recorded on like a $30 microphone from Walmart. So that's not what you're fucking supposed to do, right? So I came in knowing this was going to be a problematic album to make and listen to. This song is called Free Yanis, and there's this father and son duo of wannabe gangsters in Columbia, Missouri. They have a coffee shop on 9th Street. I used to frequent it. I still do. Overall, I guess I'm cool with them, but this is just a burst of anger about like their stuck-up wannabe gangster attitude, particularly when I was working at a venue on 9th Street that I won't name, and their attitude towards us doing shows on 9th Street, and them kind of being like, we allow this, okay, kind of coming in and like checking on us. And I fucking hate that shit. I hate when people like claim ownership of public property. Like, I hate being downtown, anybody for any reason, especially a rich person, thinking that they can dictate how I treat that space is like, I have a visceral reaction to that. And so it came through in the song, particularly in that those guys were in like, they sold weed and they were in like a bad weed deal, and they had like a DEA bust down on them, and now they're in jail. And so, yeah, I'm like, what a fuck up, you're going to jail for weed. And again, it's not that simple in my mind. I actually have a friend that went down in that same bust, but yeah, just a part of me hates a part of what they are. So that's it. That's all that is. I don't know. Don't kill me. I just want to be gangsters. I just hate wannabe gangsters. Been friends with too many of them. This is 1994. This is the song I wrote and recorded entirely in 30 minutes. Vocals, lyrics and vocals, to be clear. Came up to Chicago with the music. Panicked, paced around in front of Jessica Jacques and Ray, and drank a bunch of caffeine and went down there and knocked it out. And I was like, I'm going to sing what I know about. I'm going to just not try for anything too hard. And so this is kind of me comparing my teenage life to Kurt Cobain's teenage life. And then it's a reference, hey, wait, why did you do it? Is, Nirvana, hey, wait, I got a new complaint. So it's stealing that part, and then why did you do it? It's like, hey, we both have depression, but why did you kill yourself? And I didn't. So where's the music? So I don't know. It's just basically just a list of things I had in common with Kurt Cobain, like putting collages and painting your walls and taking acid and all that stuff. And boy, it came out pretty good. It came out okay. I'm all right with it. Yeah, so what happened, the reason this tape is in public and the reason you can hear it and that you should listen to it and that you're listening to this now is because the fucking pandemic hit, and this and my other secret album, Lost Woozic, were my main let me follow my own career really fast. My main secret projects, which are this and Lost Music, I decided to make public. Just because I knew people had extra time on their hands to be able to sit around and listen to music. I knew people were bored, and I just wanted to put out a friendly gesture into the world and put some positivity out there. And so I was like, hey, I know I said I'd never put these albums out, but now I'm doing it just on a whim, and I ran with it. So that's why it's out. I don't regret it. The crazy thing is, even when this was like secret and I was messaging it to people, and just sending it privately to people, it still got like over 100 views with people just passing it around, which was really inspiring and cool. And I think I overthink music, and I like genres that other people don't like, but in the end you have to accept who you are, which is like a grungy punk rocker for me, doing like anxiety-ridden pop songs, and that's what I did. So it's me in my wheelhouse doing the right thing, and people picked up on it. As this is being recorded, I just finished Oversharing, my big album, and so this feels like the predecessor. I feel now like Oversharing is like the sequel to Trauma Journals, very much so. I'm going to let you guys in on a secret, a real secret. I've never told anybody this, and I probably shouldn't say it out loud, but I stole these vocals. I stole this chorus. This girl singing is from a punk band that played one show ever at Diva House. At Diva House, this DIY spot that was awesome, that lasted forever. They played one show. My friend filmed it, and I would play their performance forever, and they couldn't play. They weren't a good band. They were terrible. And so they kept stopping, but the singer was like, we're not, she meant it. She was like, we're getting it. And so she keeps singing this song at one point, a cappella, after everybody stops. And I'd taken those vocals out of that video years ago, 5 years ago, to try to have somebody make a rap beat of it, or to make some kind of like, remix of it. And then when I was doing this project, I was like, hey, that's something, and I grabbed it and I wrote the song around her vocal part. So she only says 2 different lines that I kept, and I wrote the whole melody and the whole song around me singing that along with her, and wrote lyrics to kind of make sense, to fill in where their song wasn't. That's it. I told myself I'd never tell anybody that. I hope they don't hate me. I don't know how cool I am. I don't know how cool they'd be with that if they knew. Oh, man. Guys, that was it. It goes by quick. I hope you enjoy it. It's free on Bandcamp along with all my other albums. Thanks for listening. This was awesome. Trauma Journals. Man, just a blast of an album. Very cool stuff. Like I said, it doesn't even feel like it was me that made it. 2 weeks of punk rock anti-bliss. See you next time.